This is Mike Sager from Anchor Software. I'm very excited to be taking you through our webinar focusing on the Indonesia charter market. We've been working on this webinar for 8 weeks, and we're very excited to bring it to you. We're going to be presenting this with our customers, central agencies based in Indonesia, YMA Sailing, Asia Global Yachting, Pacific High, and Finida's Liveaboard. Quick walkthrough of our agenda for today. Firstly, we're going to take you through our Trips 2.0 launch. It's a relaunch of our banner itinerary builder project. Secondly, YMA Sailing is going to take you through the Indonesian charter market, the ins, the outs, what makes this beautiful country of 17,000 plus islands an idyllic location for yacht chartering. Then you're also going to hear from Asia Global Yachting, Pacific High, and Finida's Liveaboard as they take you through their unique approach to Indonesia and their beautiful fleets for charter in Indonesia. And lastly, what events you can meet myself, Elliot, and the team at going forward in the next 6 to 8 weeks. Quick overview of Trips. We listened to our customers and people that wanted Trips to be easier to use. So as of our latest release, presentations in less than 5 clicks and get out of the tool in less than a minute. We've also split the tool so you can create yachts, itineraries, or present a combination of both. And you can choose from a list of 300 off-the-shelf itineraries, 5,000 locations with descriptions written by travel writers, 8,000 plus charter yachts to select and drag and drop to your presentation, and over 200,000 photos. And here's a quick walkthrough of the tool. And now Yacht Marketing Agency is going to take you through, with myself, the Indonesian charter market and everything you need to know before sending your charterers here. Very happy today to be here with Charles from YMA Sailing. We're going to take you through the introduction to the Indonesian charter market. He's going to walk through his background. Welcome, Charles. What attracted you to Indonesia in the first place?
Hi, Mike. Thank you very much, first of all, for having me on this podcast. I'm very pleased to be here. So basically, I arrived in Indonesia in 2016 as an intern. I was looking for an end-of-study internship. And after having experiences in North America and Europe, I wanted to find something in Asia. I had some family who used to be living and working in Indonesia and told me great things about this country. So I found an opportunity to an hospitality group that had properties here in Bali, where I am today, and a boat in Komodo. I did most of it, most of my internship in Komodo, close to the boat. And this is pretty much how it started. After 6 months, they gave me a job on the boat as a cruise director, which I kept doing for 4 years, gathering all my knowledge about the destination and basically building my network.
Charles, can you walk us through what makes an Indonesian charter unique and how it might be different to the typical Caribbean or Mediterranean charter that a lot of people are used to?
Sure. I mean, there's many aspects why a charter in Indonesia is very different. And I think all our passengers are very aware of that. The first thing that comes to me is the type of boat that we are chartering. They're all built in Indonesia as pinisi, so it's a traditional type of vessels from Indonesia. They're all built in hardwood and precious wood like ulin and teak, which gives a very expensive feeling to it when you're on board. And this is not something you would find on a white yacht, for example, on the Med or the Caribbean. And this is already the first feedback that our passengers say when they come on board is it feels precious, it feels expensive, and it feels solid as well. The second point that I would mention is definitely the quality of the crew that we have. All the vessels that we have are fully Indonesian crew members. And you would never find people that are as dedicated as the Indonesian. The warmthness of the people, the dedication to all your requests, the attention to details, they would always go above and beyond your request. And this is also a feedback that we get at the end of the charter. And our clients always, have done trips in Europe, in the Med, and elsewhere. And the crew is, for me, 80% of the charter. It makes 80% of the value of the charter. And this is what brings our clients back and back. We have some vessels, 50% of repeater clients, and the crew member is usually what makes them back. They like to call them the Indonesian family, and this is really important for them that once they come back, they find the exact same crew members on board, so they have the same souvenirs and they've shared, a lot of activities together, and this is kind of like building bridge in between the crew member and the passengers. And then after, it's in regards to the destinations, we have some very unique landscapes. If you know about Komodo National Park, you find like landscapes that are similar to what you could get in Africa, for example, during a safari. And this is not something you would expect in Indonesia. You're thinking like it would be a tropical country with a lot of jungle. And here you are in Komodo, and it's all dry, like a savanna type of landscape. And this is during May and May to October. And then after, if we want something that is more, in line with your expectations, we would go to West Papua and Raja Ampat, for example. And then you have these like towering cliffs with jungles that drops directly into the ocean. And this is for many of us, including me, the definition of a tropical paradise. A lot of our passengers and travel partners like to call it the last paradise. So those are like some of the aspects why Indonesia is so special. We have here 18,000 islands. It's the biggest archipelago in the world. And here they call it the island nation because of the number of islands. So there's always like a different itinerary to propose depending of the profile of the clients, what they want to do. So that's what makes it so special, and the reason why we have also so many repeater clients. In terms of boat owners, we don't have to do very long relocations if we want to operate all year long. We would do half the year around Komodo National Park and then relocate the boat with like a 5 to 6 days crossing to Raja Ampat, and we can operate the other side of the season. So it's also very cost effective and safe for the boat.
What is your favorite itinerary having been in Indonesia for the past decade? And I'd love to hear that from you.
Well, you are asking me kind of like a tough question because it's hard to pick one favorite itinerary. But I would say it's an itinerary that is summarizing everything we could get in Indonesia. The cultural part with tribes, the marine life that we could get, and landscapes. And that itinerary for me is one I've been able to experience in 2018, starting from the deep part of West Papua called Timika. That is the home of the Asmat tribes. And I'm sure our American friends would know the story because of the Rockefeller story that happened when he got killed or died in this area, walking through Sorong and Raja Ampat. It's an itinerary that is 14 days long, so it's quite a long expeditions. And we're starting from the Asmat area where we're organizing with anthropologists 3 days of activities and research of this tribe. We take out tenders from the ocean up to the jungle, across the mangrove, sometimes for more than 2 hours in sort of the tribes. And sometimes we could be granted by 100 canoes. And I would love to share with you, Mike, some of the pictures we took in 2018. It's quite impressive. And those tribes, they don't see a lot of foreigners. So it's very special when we go there, and we do it only for very special clients. First, because it takes a lot of time to find them, and it's also a very remote part, so it's quite expensive to operate as well, and we need some special guides that are not always available. And so after those 3-4 days in this area, we are making our way north towards Triton Bay. And Triton Bay is known first for the quality of its diving and landscapes, but also because it's one of the 3 places where we can find whale sharks all year round. And so we're going to spend 3 days in this area in search of great dive sites, and we have a lot of secret spots. But also we know where to find the whale sharks, and we always like to do 1 or 2 snorkeling either or diving sessions with them. And you could ask all our passengers across all the destinations we brought them, what is the favorite activity or what they would remember, and it's the whale shark. Because those sharks are so big and gentle, and you would feel like when they come close to you, and they do come really close to you sometimes, it's kind of like a bit scary, even though they're safe, that you could go in and snorkeling into their mouth because they're so big. And so we would spend a couple of days in this area, and then after we continue our way north toward Misul and Raja Ampat area. And this is where we would get a lot of marine life and those landscapes that I think most of you may have seen on Google or internet. And so this eatery, even though it's quite long time duration, 14 days is not very common that we have charter of this duration. You could cover pretty much everything you could get from that cultural point of view and deep human experience with the tribes to the whale sharks, which is the biggest shark species that you could ever find in Indonesia. And then after amazing diving and amazing landscapes in Raja Ampat. To make things a bit more special or even spicy, there because we have some crew members that are from West Papua, so they know this area quite well. When we have the asmat, we could spend half a day with them to go hunting crocodiles, or they bring us to the jungle, so for the most adventurous ones. But there are always people who are keen to do that, and when they come home, I mean, they're speaking to their friends and say like, we've never done that and we've never heard of something like this. So I think that's, to me, they are the ultimate eatery. And yeah, just by thinking of it, I want to go back. And we are officially launching a new expedition for November this year. And one is a private charter and one is per cabin. So it's very exciting for some of our travel agents. We presented it a few times already on the last exhibitions we've done, sorry, and we got a huge amount of requests. So we're super excited to open the reservation this year.
Can you walk me through the fleet, the sizes, the range, how many guests you can have on board to help the brokers on the call understand what's the range of your fleet so they can understand the size and how many people you can accommodate, etc.?
Sure. I mean, the aim with YMA Sailing is to have an extensive fleet that is complement each vessel, so we can be a one point of contact for our travel partners and brokers. So up to today, we have 9 boats that we're taking care of as a central agent, ranging from 7 cabins all the way to 2 cabins. So we can welcome like honeymooners or 2 families, couples. And basically, we have 1 boat for every type of inquiry. And this is how we're going to grow the fleet step by step. Today, so the longest vessel that we take care of is a 46-meter schooner, and we have 7 cabins, 16 passengers maximum, 18 crew members, and so we have 2 vessels of this type with 7 cabins. We have another section of the company where we take care of diving liveaboards. So it's really a different section of the yachting that is maybe not very familiar in Europe because we don't have this type of boat. But here in Indonesia, which is considered to be the mecca of diving because of the quality of the dive site, the quantity of the marine life, we have a lot of requests and a lot of people coming just for diving. So we have 4 of these in the fleet, and most of these boats are offering what we call FIT, or free independent traveler. So it's more for people who would book 1 cabin and then come for a trip. So it's more like a hotel style. in terms of management and operation. And the latest type of boat that joined the fleet was more to bring a logistic solution to an issue that we have personally to get around Indonesia and our travel partners as well. As I was mentioning, we have 18,000 islands in Indonesia. And the hardest thing about this country is to get across those islands. There's a big lack of infrastructure in terms of marina, in terms of flights, and the best way to get around Indonesia is by boats. And so we brought a 12-meter speedboat with 2 times 425 horsepower engines that is based in Bali. And we use this boat for inter-island transfer. So when we have guests who wants to go from Bali to Lombok, like the neighbor island, they can take this. And basically, we divide the time of travel by 2 compared to a flight in between Bali and Lombok. We do the same thing to West Sumbawa. We do the same thing to East Java. So we can cater a lot of different type of inquiries and travelers. And I'm sure you know, but Bali is getting crowded with a lot of traffic issues. If you've never been to this island, this is something that I don't wish you to try. And we've seen that over the year, the length stay of our passengers is increasing. They're spending more time on the island, on the boat, sorry. When I arrived in 2016, for example, the average stay in Komodo was 4 or 5 days. And now we are more towards 7 to 10 days. And this is because people do not want to spend as much time as they were doing before on Bali. And then after, they're trying to avoid Bali and to go directly to Lombok, for example. But because the main international airport to reach those islands is Bali, they need some logistic solutions to get around. So that's the solution, and this boat is called Vedanta. And it was built in partnership with an American naval architect based in Indonesia called Tresno Siri, that have designed several yachts here in Indonesia, and a famous villa architect called Alex Sidornier. So we're bridging together the design and like the performance of the boat to operate in those waters.
Can you pick like the most special, unique thing about a part of your fleet or a particular yacht or boat that you'd want to highlight?
Sure. Within our fleet, we have 2 flagships vessels. The first one's called Celestia. It's a 45 traditional Pinisi. It was launched in 2023, and the reason why I'm speaking about this vessel is because the owners who are Indonesian invested heavily into the crew, but especially onto the food experience. The head chef is from Bali, is a Balinese, but has been trained into Michelin star restaurants in the US, one in New York and one in Chicago. And when he came on board, the idea was to use all the background techniques that he gathered into this Michelin star rated restaurant and mix it with all the local ingredients that we can find in Indonesia, from the spices, the meat, the fish, the vegetables. And so it's basically bringing to our passengers a deep Indonesian food experience mixed with French cooking techniques. And I have to say that from all of the boat that I've tried, and I've been on quite a lot, actually, since I arrived here, it is the best food and food experience I've ever had. And it's a feedback that all our passengers are giving us as well. And the reason why they come back, and it's like you're eating in very, very, very good restaurants every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snacks. And if you want to know a funny story, we had a client that came last year on board, and he tried to steal our chef to be his personal chef in Geneva. And hopefully, you know, and not hopefully for Indonesian, it's very hard for them to get a visa to work in Europe. So he had to stay in Indonesia, but otherwise, surely he would be a private chef in Switzerland. So that's how good he is. And the second vessel I would love to run through a bit is called Mutiara Laut, meaning the pearl of the sea. It's a 46-meter schooner that we bought last year with an investor. It was built at the base in 2009, and it's the only boat that is properly capable of sailing within the entire archipelago and even Southeast Asia. And the idea behind this project was to propose sailing cruises in Indonesia for 2 reasons. first, you have a lower impact on the environment by doing this type of operation. And we know that the travel industry and most of our clients come from travel agents at the moment, have a keen eye on this. It's also a very good experience for clients. And when you have a 46-meter boat sailing at 6 or 7 knots is quite impressive when it's laying down. And so we are working since a year to renew all the riggings. We have the new sets coming from Germany in a couple of weeks, actually. And we are speaking with the winner of the Vendée Globe, for those who know, of 2020, to come on board for 1 or 2 expeditions as a lecturer. And so this is something that we are very excited about, putting the final piece to the boat and operate this very special voyages.
I would also like to hear, to round it out, what YMA Sailing, because you're not a cookie cutter central agency. You offer a lot of extra things to drive demand and marketing for the boat owners. Can you spend a couple minutes explaining what you do that is value add and above and beyond what a normal central agency does?
So YMA Sailing stands for Yacht Marketing Agency. We created this company back in 2019 with 2 of my friends, and we are now 3 co-founders and owner of the company. All the people that work with us are based in our office in Bali. And what we do is like a one point of contact for the marketing, the reservation, the administration of the boat, the product creation, and also the communication. And everything is based in-house. We have a very strong background into direct marketing, which is helping us to create very strong branding and to reach a lot of direct clients. Some of our yachts have more than 50% of direct bookings, which is bringing a lot of value to the brand of the boat. And so the boat is just not one unit. It's for us company that we are developing each on their own, through their own platforms, their own websites, social media. We do exhibitions on their behalf as well. And so we do a lot more than just listing the boat on our platform and then waiting for bookings. As I was mentioning, we have a team of 40 and we cover all aspects of the branding and the communication in-house. And I would say that we have a very keen eye on technology and softwares. So we are investing a lot into CRM. We're using Salesforce to collect as many data as possible regarding that, from when and where do the inquiry come from, the lead time for each type of bookings, and this per industry, per type of boat. And you would have very different results from like a diving liveaboard and a private charter that would cost about $15,000 a night. And all those data that we are gathering is helping us to drive those marketing campaign exhibitions to make sure that we are making the most amount of money, from the investment of the owner. And I think that's really what is differentiating ourselves from other competitors. And also one thing is that we are granting our owners access to our softwares, so they can have like a full transparency on what's going on, the number of inquiries, the type of answer that we're giving, how much money they're generating, and so on. We have nothing to hide, and that's always been like an issue in Indonesia, but I have no idea of how it's like in other countries. But we want to make sure that they trust us, and by trusting us, it's also giving them opportunity to view what we're doing, so that because they're investing into us, they're providing a budget for a lot of things, we want to make sure that they get a return on investment.
That is a great way to round it out, maximizing value for yacht owners. That's very impressive, and the transparency of the data. Well, Charles, this has been very good, and we thank you very much. And I look forward to Anchor bringing you many more charters in Indonesia.
Hello everyone, my name is Maria. I'm the head of sales and marketing at Asia Global Yachting Indonesia. And first of all, I would like to thank Anchor for the opportunity for us to be here at Indonesia Charter Webinar. So Indonesia is one of the most incredible yachting destinations. It's all year round. It's marine biodiversity and then vibrant culture heritage, remote landscape. It's perfect for relax, discovering, and explore more, and especially like to find like what's really unique in Indonesia. Let's start off with Banda. Known as a spice island, it was once the heart of the global spice trade. These islands played a really significant history in Indonesia. Can you imagine? In 1667, Rhode Island was traded for Manhattan during the Spice Wars. Because back then, spices was worth more than gold. And today, Banda is a paradise. You can explore Fort Bagica, walk around the nutmeg plantation, dive in the lava flow reef, and this scenery, it's absolutely breathtaking. Dramatic coastlines and the Banda Api volcano, it's just make it an unforgettable destination. Now let's talk about Raja Ampat. It's a global epicenter of marine biodiversity. It's 45,000 square kilometer home for thousands of fish species and hundreds types of corals. It's a diverse snorkeler and underwater photographer's heaven. And above the water, you can hike up to the limestone cast for the scenic view, paddleboarding or kayaking through the maze of islands, or even bird watching. These rare species of Wilson or red birds of paradise. Raja Ampat is truly special because of its rich culture. It's truly untouched paradise. Now let's move on to our flagships. The Mud Oceanic is a floating oasis perfect for families and groups. It features the largest master suite in any Phoenician yacht, complete with private balcony, library, and bathtub. This is equipped with gym, spa, and even a golf deck with biodegradable golf balls. We have plenty of water toys such as jet ski, wakeboard, water ski, kayaks, and paddle boards. Not to mention a spacious top deck for yoga or sunset cocktails. And even you can set up a cinema for movie nights under the stars. For more adventure and experience, we have Sanctuary. This is a stunning yacht, a blend of traditional craftsmanship and modern luxury. The highlights are the master suite with panoramic ocean views and a private jacuzzi. We also have 2 VIP suites on the same deck with private balconies. And then on the top deck, we have sun loungers and jacuzzi for relaxation. It is fully equipped with spacious salon and an extensive bar. What truly sets us apart is our combined 60 years experience in yachting in the region. So we know what you're talking about. When we created a bespoke itinerary for your client, you better believe that it comes from those tens of years of experience. And the access to the remote destinations is to deliver memorable experience for your guests. Why choose Indonesia for your client's next yachting destination? Indonesia is unlike anywhere else. From the spice-rich history of the Banda Islands to the vibrant marine life of Raja Ampat, this destination has something for everyone. This gives guests privacy, exclusivity, and chance to truly immerse themselves in nature and culture. So, what do you think? Our tailored itineraries are available, and then our team are ready 24/7 to assist you anytime you need. Let's work together to create a magical journey for your guests. And we look forward to welcome your guests on board our fleet. See you!
Hi everyone, I'm Clarice. I'm the head of sales and business development for Pacific High. I've been in the yachting industry in Asia for the last 25 years, with the last 8 years in Indonesia. Here in Pacific High, we offer end-to-end yacht services from design to management. This allows us full control over the quality and the services on board. Let's have a quick tour of our shipyard in Bira. It's 5,000 square meters, and we have a seafront of about 80 meters, where we can comfortably accommodate up to 4 bills at the same time. To us, it's not just about building boats, it's about creating a legacy. And now to the jewels of our fleet. We've got Senja, she's our honeymoon boat, main cabin, full beam, ocean view, perfect for couples. We have Dewata, twin master suites on the main deck, another cabin below deck, so it's great for a few couples or groups of friends. We have Nataraja. She's got a full communal living going on the main deck and 3 cabins below deck. And finally, we have Sanya launching in August 2025. She's the sister ship of Senja, so you might see her under construction in the shipyard tour earlier. All our yachts are designed to cruise in style and comfort. All cabins come with ensuite. We have eco-friendly products on board. Think of full hospitality, gourmet meals, cocktails, mocktails, massages, cinemas under the stars, anything you can think of. We have water toys and full diving capabilities on board with dive instructors. We can even help to certify you with PADI if advance notice is given. No request is too big for our crew to accommodate. However, as we all know, it should be within reason. Our fleet follows the season. May and September in Komodo, and November to April we are in Raja Ampat. However, we are flexible to take you wherever the wind calls. One of our biggest strengths is actually designing journeys, and I'd love to share a story. We had a couple who sailed with us for 40 days on Dewata last year, and they were so inspired by their trip that this year they're coming back on Senja and Dewata, 2 trips, 61 days. The planning process, it was months of detailed work, but the kind that we absolutely love. They're brief, they wanted each day to be different. They want to explore remote areas, go trekking, dive in secret spots, visit small communities, and go bird watching, amongst others. Every route, every destination had to be unique, no repetition. So this is the kind of customization that we aim for. But we're just getting started. We believe in the potential of Indonesia and the surrounding region. We plan to have 40 plus 50 meter plus in the fleet and expanding to other regions. In addition, we're developing an ecosystem of complementary premium experiences from waterfront properties, private aviation, and concierge services. With that, thank you for your time. Thank you, Mike, Elliot, and the Anchor.io team for this opportunity, and I look forward to hearing from you all soon.
Hello everyone, my name is Moritz. I'm originally from Germany but grew up in Indonesia, and I am the owner and operator of Venides Liveaboard, a luxury wooden yacht almost 40 meters long, operating across the Indonesian archipelago. We've been now operating for more than 10 years in the high-end luxury market. Venides was built in 2019 or completed in 2019. We pretty much built it from scratch over 3 years. It has 5 guest cabins, all en suite, ACs, TVs, Starlink Wi-Fi, a huge lounge, bar area, 2 tender boats, and we pretty much cruise all over the country, different regions, different locations. Quite seasonal, but we try to be in the right spot in the right time. As you all maybe know, Indonesia is a pretty big country. We have more than 17,000 different islands. Of course, there are a few main islands like Bali that everyone knows, Java, Sumatra, maybe Raja Ampat, Komodo, Flores, but there's a lot more to see. And our biggest goal and our biggest aim was always to explore more. That used to be our first slogan from our yacht, from my company, Venides Liveaboard, is to explore more, trying to venture further east, further north, and find these last little hidden gems. We are mainly focused on scuba diving. Still, we do a lot of island hopping, leisure trips as well, which have been a quite big success in the past. Because Indonesia is very diverse, a lot of biodiversity, a lot of different topographies, beautiful stunning beaches that allow us to cater for everyone. The scuba divers go scuba diving. Maybe there are some people on the boat who do not dive, they want to do water skiing, want to hang out on the beach, have a beautiful sophisticated beach setup, beach picnics, kayaking, snorkeling, sports fishing, and so on. In the background, you see, a few different landscapes and a few different destinations that we travel to. So number one would be, or the main knowledgeable one would be the Komodo National Park, Raja Ampat, the Banda Sea, Spice Islands, Ring of Fire, and more. 5 cabins, usually 10 guests, charter guests, nice fully stocked kitchen, fully stocked bar, lounge areas, sun decks, a massage room for your spa treatments, big indoor lounge, AC, Starlink, internet, Wi-Fi, smart TVs. All cabins have their ensuite bathrooms, hot water showers, of course, and some nice dining, some nice lunch, nice breakfast. So basically, your luxury home at sea for the stay in Indonesia. It's a very traditional boat, as you can see, and we like it that way. And we just try to reinvent the standard a little bit, and I hope we could do that. Thank you. See you on board.
All right. If everyone can hear, hopefully you can. We've got a few questions that have come through from customers online. So the first one has come through. Hey, Maria and Clarice. Hope you can hear us.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Beautiful. A bit of a transition from the pre-recorded video to doing it live. We're operating between a few different platforms. We're operating between Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So one question that's come through, and actually this is just now. So Patrice in Antibes, and actually I don't know the answer to this. What is the typical Advanced Provisioning Authority, or APA, that, like, percentage-wise on top of the charter fee, that brokers need to expect for Indonesia?
Well, can I answer the question?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Sorry,
Go ahead, Maria. You go first.
Okay, so in terms of APA, so generally in Indonesia, like all the charter rate is all inclusive, excluding alcoholic beverage, and then there will be no APA charge. But then in a few occasions, in a few occasions, we do charge APA for, like, for example, to pay the onboard consumption later on, or crew tips.
Sorry. For some reason here in Australia, the building that we're in for startups has decided to do a fire test at midnight. So apologies, Maria. Could you say the last part again really quick?
No, generally there's no APA charge, unlike the charters in the Med or in the Caribbean. So the charter rate is basically all inclusive except for alcoholic beverage, for example, and the gratuity. And then in some occasions, some brokers decided to just charge an APA of approximately between 10 to 15% to reserve the fund for onboard consumption and then the crew gratuities.
That was a question we had from one of the American brokers on the line as well. So Clarice, what Chris and BVI asked, how much notice do you need for the PADI certificates?
We only actually just need 30 days notice. And normally what we do is when we send you the guest preferences form, we normally send it to you 60 days before. We do expect it back at least 30 days before for all your any special preferences, dietary requirements, passenger flight details, and all that. At that point, then you are able to, when you mention that you would like to take any certification, then we will request that you take your theory first, and then just when you come on board, we'll help you go through the rest of the certification. So it's much more fun to just jump into the water rather than doing the theory. You're just going to waste most of your holiday time doing that. And to add on that, just to add on what Maria just said about the APA, all our cruises is full board. But if it's a special itinerary where we do, for example, like the client that did 40 days, that's very specialized. So that will have an APA to account for the fuel, for all the visits, because there are actually charges for every destination that's outside the itinerary. There's additional cost to that.
Yeah, I don't know how you piece together a 61-day itinerary. So, mate, Clarice, good on you for that one.
Well, it was actually broken into two. One 16 days on Sinja, and then another 39-day, about 39 days on Dewata.
Sure, 39 days. Why not?
Yeah.
Cool. Marie, you can help with this one. Laura from, sorry, not Laura, Lisa has asked, for Europeans that are not, let's be honest, Indonesia is not a familiar market for most Europeans. Where do you fly into and how do you do the transfers? So Marie, if you could help our European brokers understand that.
Yeah. So in terms of the disembarking and then embarking port of call, that would be depending on the itinerary. So the most typical itineraries would be like, for example, Komodo to Sumbawa, and then like around Raja Ampat. So for Komodo to Sumbawa, usually we would recommend the guests to fly into Labuan Bajo Airport, which is only an hour flight from Bali, and then departing from Sumbawa Besar Airport, for example. So in that way, the guests could actually experience not just the Komodo National Park only, but then like as per your discussion with Charles earlier as well, like nowadays the typical itineraries, it's at least 7 nights, unlike like previous years, which was only like 4 or 5 nights. And then in that way we can include the islands in Sumbawa as well, which can include the opportunity to swim with the whale shark and near Sumbawa in Teluk Saleh. And then for the Raja Ampat itinerary, the embarking and disembarking port of call would be in Sorong. And then it's just recently that there is a direct flight. It's not every day, but then like around like 3 days a week that the guests can fly direct from Bali, which is very convenient because otherwise the flight would have to have a stopover overnight in Makassar, which is a bit inconvenient in certain ways. But then another possibility as well is to fly from Jakarta directly to Sorong, which has flights every day. There are 2 flights leaving from Jakarta to Sorong. So,
and if people want to do private charter, then all those airports can accommodate that.
Yes, correct. And then in terms of transfers, so as mentioned as well earlier, that our charter rate is almost all inclusive. So the transfer would be included on the charter rate. So we'll pick up the guest from the airport and then to the boat, and drop off as well included. And unless if the guests decided to stay in Labuan Bajo, for example, prior or after, then we do that. We drop them off to the hotel instead of to the airport.
Perfect. Okay. There was one last question from Patrice in France. Clarice, I'll give this one for you, and this is quite a simple one. The question they had is, what is the best month to avoid? Just like if you were going to pick the best period, if they could choose to do a charter in Indonesia, it's quite a broad region, but if you could say it's this month, what is that month?
Well, the thing is, like it's it's hard because Indonesia is all year round destination. So at any time of the month, it's actually yeah, it's good. So there is no restriction whatsoever to
Yeah,
come to
good,
Indonesia.
Maria, because it's true. But I saw the question in LinkedIn for, sorry, you can't see my picture because I think my connection is very unstable. I'm in the village somewhere in Kota Kinabalu, Sabah. So, and it's raining. But to answer your question, to Patrice's question, I think I saw what is the best time to visit Komodo. There's actually best month, not best month. I would say it has to be July. July is the best month. But for Komodo, you can actually go June, July, August, up to mid-September. But best month, July, it also hits on the school holidays. Raja Ampat, I'd say January or February.
Yeah.
Correct?
And
Yeah. If you say month, but months, you can start cruising Raja Ampat, December all the way until April, May.
And as a father of kids that are going back to private school, they go back tomorrow. So it's pretty much Christmas for me. So Clarice, what you just said is music to my ears. Cool. Yeah. Thank you both. Very happy that we had the opportunity to share this with our European and American charter brokers, primarily because Indonesia is a brand new market for them. As an American, before I came out to Asia and Oceania, it didn't even register until you got out to the region. So thank you you produced some really amazing videos to show the region. Thank you both for your time. And I hope that, Therese, you're able to stay out of the weather. And Maria, thank you for your time. And we'll send this out to all of our community straight after the call. Thank you both so much. And to Maurice and Charles as well. Thank you both.
All right.
The team.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.